So the biggest lie you've been told about your arthritis is movement will make it worse. Because actually the opposite is true. Not moving will make it worse. But the real danger is avoiding movement completely. And even worse, thinking you're too fragile to even try. If you have arthritis, you've probably been told some version of this. You need to be careful. Don't overdo it. Movement will make your pain worse. But that's actually a lie and likely keeping you stuck. Here's what the science actually shows. When researchers compared different treatments for arthritis, exercise actually ranked as number 1, better than NSAIDs, medications like ibuprofen, better than opioid pain medications, and then obviously better than doing nothing. In fact, when they directly compared exercise to medications like Advil and Tylenol, exercise performed just as well as the pain medications for pain relief, but without all of the adverse side effects, and this is really exciting. And here's the part that changed how I thought about all of this. A study done in 2024 showed that people who regularly took NSAID medication actually had an increase in their symptoms and were 3 times more likely to get a total knee replacement. You need tools beyond pills. Pills keep masking the pain, but they don't get to the root cause. Think about it this way. If you have a leak in your roof, the pills act as the bucket catching the water. They help with the immediate problem. But if the bucket is your only strategy, your roof continues to get worse and the problem spreads. Eventually, you may need a whole new roof. This is what I want you to hear. Exercise is powerful medicine. Research shows that exercise can be just as good as pills when it comes to pain relief, but it also can help you rebuild strength, improve your overall function and how you move, and can help you do things that you thought were impossible. When you have movement in your toolkit, you may need less medication, or even better, none at all. But when pills are your only tool, you are missing out on the most powerful option you have. So why are we afraid to move? As a physical therapist, here's what I see all the time. You wake up stiff, you go down the stairs and your knees hurt. And you think to yourself, okay, maybe I do need to move more. So you go for a walk. Maybe push yourself a little bit harder than you should because you're really feeling motivated. You want this pain to go away. But then the next day, you have even more pain. And then you think to yourself, oh, I was right. Movement actually can make my pain worse. So then you pull back. You rest more. You find yourself sitting more because you don't want to make that pain worse. Then you think to yourself, well, maybe getting down to the floor to play with my grandkids probably isn't a good idea. Or that hike that I was thinking about doing next week, that's probably not realistic. And here's the trap. Every time you avoid something, it gets a little harder. Your muscles get a little weaker, your joints get a little stiffer. And then it reinforces, see, my arthritis is getting worse. I was right to be careful, but now you're not able to do as much. So here's what's actually happening. You're not making your arthritis worse by moving. You're making your capacities smaller, the things that you're able to do, by not moving. People get so convinced that their bodies are fragile, that if you experience a little soreness after doing something, that must mean more damage. Or you experience a higher level of pain one day, a flare-up, and think, this is it. I need to get surgery. But then you look at what you actually did. Maybe you walked 30 minutes one day when you usually walk 5 or 10 minutes. Or maybe you did 50 repetitions of chair squats when you usually do 5. These large jumps in volume can be one of the primary reasons you're experiencing that pain. So you have to have movement work with you, and you have to use movement in the right way. Not all movement is created equally, and you're likely not ready for all kinds of different exercises. There are certain few right now that will feel good, and there are certain few that won't. And the key is making sure that we can find the ones that feel good, which I am helping you to do on this channel. So let me explain why exercise even works in the first place. And if you think about it like a sponge, your cartilage that sits in between, say, your knee joint or any joint, acts like a sponge. As you squeeze the sponge and let it go, it is able to absorb water and release water. Cartilage acts in the same way. When you move, you squeeze your cartilage and then allow it to release. This is how it gets fed. This is how it gets nutrients. And without movement, without that squeezing and moving the joint, your cartilage begins to literally starve, which then can put you down a slope of pain, irritation, inflammation. And this is the key. There's a difference between movement that feels good and movement that is too much too fast. I see this all the time. People go from doing none or very little movement to trying to do everything at once. And then they get hurt. And then they say, see, movement doesn't work for me. But the problem wasn't in the movement. It was the approach. So here's how to do it right. And all you need to think about are 3 steps. Number 1, start simple. This week, choose 2 or 3 exercises to focus on. Don't worry and try to do a bunch of different things at once. Choose 2 or 3 to start with. If you're looking for knee exercises, you can go to my knee strengthening exercise and choose 2 or 3 of those. And if you don't want to piece this together yourself, that is why I created my membership Adventurers for Life. You get specific workouts to focus on and to hone in on before you move on to the next one. So you don't have to guess and pick those exercises. I've done that for you. But whether you're inside Adventurers for Life or you are on my free YouTube videos, start simple. Step 2, take time to warm up. So many people skip this and then wonder why their joints hurt. Your body needs time to warm up. You get into a car on a cold day, it needs time to warm up. It doesn't just become warm right away, but a lot of people think their body does that. You get up and just try to go do your daily routine. Or you get to a gym and you just start lifting heavy weights. Or you get to a pickleball court and you just start playing. And your body is like, what the heck is going on? I'm really not ready for this. Then it becomes painful, stiff. For example, before you go out on a walk, take 5 minutes to do some simple movements. I have some ideas on this channel in this video here. If you're going to be doing a bunch of stairs, say if you're traveling, do a few exercises to make sure your body is ready for that. If you're going to be hiking or walking on uneven terrain, balance exercises are a great warm-up activity for that. And as you get older, your body just needs a little bit more time to warm up. And step number 3, before you stop an activity, think about adapting before quitting. And here's what I mean by that. When it comes to exercise, say you try something like a chair squat, standing up from a chair and sitting back down, and then you experience pain. A lot of people think, I can't do chair squats. Chair squats are not good for me. And then they avoid them. But when you think about all the times you need to use a squat during the day, standing up from a chair, standing up from the toilet, standing up from a car, instead, you take that exercise and maybe you raise the chair height a little bit higher. So now you're not having to go down as low. Or you push up with your arms instead of trying to stand up without. Adapting, not quitting. Modification of a movement or an exercise is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign saying, I am going to do this in a way that my body can handle right now, because I am trying to get better at this, not just push through pain. Pushing through pain is only going to make your joints feel worse. And instead of trying to push through pain and then thinking, I can't do this, think, how can I do this differently? For example, going up or down the stairs. Instead of thinking, if you experience pain, I can't do this, so I need to avoid stairs, try to go up or down sideways, changing the way you do it. And that's another thing I'm trying to do on this channel, is to give you options, because I know the options aren't always obvious. If you're walking and you start to experience pain, instead of saying, well, I can't walk any further, or I just need to stop walking in general, stop for a minute. Step sideways. Maybe tap backwards, move your legs in a marching position, reset your muscles, and then try to keep going. Because the more you tell yourself, I can't do this, or the more you avoid things, the more limited you feel. And when you feel limited, that is not a good place to be, mentally or physically. Many people think small because they have arthritis, because it's either I can do this or I can't, instead of how can I change this so that I can do it? Even if it's not perfect at first, even if it's not what you've done in the past, it can really change the way you feel about arthritis. Your body is so much more resilient than a lot of us give it credit for. You are not broken because you have arthritis. Yes, you need to be smart in the movements you choose. Yes, you may need to adapt certain movements. Keep the Adventure Alive is all about giving you hope and optimism that you can do the things that you previously thought were impossible. You just have to approach it in the right way. If you found this video helpful, I'd like you to share it with one other person, because guess what? As a physical therapist, I wish everyone with arthritis could hear this video. It has been life-changing for so many people inside of my Adventures for Life membership, so many of the subscribers here on this channel, and I want it to be life-changing for you too. So let's all take action together and start today, because without action, nothing's going to change, or something may get worse. We're here to help keep adventures alive, so let's do that today.